21st century medicine is advancing at a blinding pace. But many doctors are the first to admit they don't have all the answers. For every modern miracle cure, there can also be a traditional home remedy, a herbal alternative, or an ancient therapy people swear by. Many of these treatments have been handed down the generations. But how many of them actually work?
Hello. Step into my office, Stevie.
Thank you.
I'm Jan Fran.
Why do you think it works?
And in this new series, we meet the everyday Australians who claim their homespun health cures work miracles.
What do you got? Plain yogurt or dandruff?
It is hemp kombucha.
Breastfeeding enhancing smoothie.
The most promising treatments will be scientifically trialled by an independent research team.
All right, good luck.
Thank you so much.
But first, they have to convince our team of medical experts.
This could be life-changing for the health of Australians.
Journalist and doctor Ginny Mansberg,
I'm trying to fight my science brain, I really am.
medical research specialist Professor Ash Hake,
I just have to make a confession. I'm a convert.
and groundbreaking neurosurgeon Dr. Charlie Teo.
Everyone thinks of medicine as being black and white, that we have the answers to everything. It's not true. In fact, many of these alternative treatments may be the answer that we've been searching for decades.
It cures a cough and it's a beer.
Yeah.
With diverse remedies
I'm a laughter researcher.
I make my own deodorant.
I believe I've discovered a cure for baldness.
Boldness?
Yeah.
from the traditional
My grandfather passed down to my father, and I was passing on to me.
This is a Peruvian smell. You probably feel
I've
that.
smelled that before.
to the controversial.
Drink it and you should be cured.
Cured.
Cured. This saved my vagina.
You're what?
And extreme.
It's maggot tea.
No.
No way is that going up mud.
Oh my God.
The pressure is on to decide
That tastes great.
which treatments are worthy of a real-world scientific trial.
Asha, I'm going to completely disagree with you here. I think this is everything that this show is about.
This is Medicine or Myth. Under close inspection this week,
No way, you've got rid of your diabetes
Absolutely.
altogether.
Yeah.
is this the holy grail for one of Australia's biggest epidemics?
Oh my goodness.
Raw meat for infected wounds.
You had that in your bed?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
And a remedy to nab those nits
Getting lice out of that would not be fun.
could also help the family budget.
It would have saved us thousands of dollars, Paddy.
First up is 47-year-old Sydney-sider John. He believes combining the unusual ingredient of hemp with a trendy drink could be the cure for one of Australia's biggest health problems.
My name is John, and I have a remedy called hemp kombucha, and that's for type 2 diabetes. I would have to put my hand on heart and say the hemp kombucha changed my life and got me back on my feet, that's for sure.
Kombucha is a fermented tea drink which originated in China around 2,000 years ago. Many drink it for its widely reported health benefits, including boosting immunity and gut health.
Okay, how to make your own hemp kombucha at home. 1, 2, 3, easy steps. Watch me, come here. So first we stir together the black tea and cane sugar and boiled water. After straining that, we then add the live culture, which is called the SCOBY. It's a symbiotic body of cultures and yeast and bacteria. It's all the good stuff that's really good for good gut health. Leave it covered for about 4 days. Then just add a teaspoon of hemp after it's fermented. Go hemp kombucha. To have hemp kombucha put on trial, getting that feedback from other people who have suffered the way I've suffered, well, that would be fantastic.
But how will our experts react to John's controversial added ingredient, hemp?
Hi.
Hello there.
Hi.
What's your name and why are you here?
Well, my name is John, and I'm here to talk about hemp kombucha for type 2 diabetes.
So I've got to ask you, because I'm like a card-carrying nerd, right?
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
hear
yeah,
hemp and
yeah.
I'm thinking, you're just having this to get, like, you're getting high, aren't you? Like, seriously, what's going on with the hemp?
I'm delighted that you said that because it's a huge myth now. But in actual fact, hemp is not a drug, hemp is a superfood. But it does come from the cannabis plant. So it's an extract of the plant. And actually, I do believe very strongly that this actually did save my life.
Oh.
Although both hemp and marijuana derive from the cannabis family, hemp only contains trace amounts of psychoactive properties. Made legal in Australia in 2017, hemp seed is one of the highest sources of plant-based protein, rich in healthy fats and various minerals.
Okay, John, can you give us a little bit of background, how you came across it?
I was travelling in the underground in London, ended up waking up in the hospital
This was years ago or recently?
2 years ago, and I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. They did a lot of blood tests and they discovered that it was at 19%. So as you guys are experts, you'll no
That's
doubt know.
huge.
Yeah,
Huge.
it was through the roof.
You're talking about the hemoglobin A1C test, which measures your sugar for the last 3 months. And diabetics, we try and keep below 10, but for anyone healthy, we want it really below 7.
Okay, so this is particularly interesting for me. I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes and my fasting blood sugar was 8.
Okay, that's not so free.
Not so good.
doesn't
And
sound
it should have
good.
been less than 5, shouldn't it?
5.4 and below is normal. 7 and above is technically diabetes, although a single high blood sugar does not a diagnosis of diabetes make. So I'm so glad you had a number of tests. We've definitely confirmed it.
Yeah.
Approximately 1 million Australians suffer from type 2 diabetes. It's expected to become the most common disease in Australia by 2023, ahead of cancer and heart disease. One of the biggest risk factors is obesity. Currently, almost 2 in 3 Australian adults are considered overweight or obese.
And I actually discovered at that time that I wasn't suitable for the drug, which was metformin. But the wonderful Chinese doctor suggested that I drink some hemp kombucha.
And do you still have type 2 diabetes?
No.
No way. You've got rid of your diabetes
Absolutely.
altogether.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. And how do you know that your diabetes is cured? You've gone back and had blood tests?
Yes. After about 5 weeks on hemp kombucha, I went back and the doctor said, well, I'm quite surprised. He said, what have you been doing? Of course, I did do some exercise. I also ate sort of lighter food.
Yeah, sure. Have you lost significant weight? Were you fat?
Never fat. Perhaps I had a bit of weight on me. But never fat.
So, Ginny, if a patient of yours had gone away, exercised, lost some weight, improved their diet, would you expect them to be cured after 5 weeks?
No. No, I'd expect them to have trimmed down, look as amazing as you do now, John,
Thank you.
maybe. Can we try this while we're chatting?
Yes, we can.
Because I'm not a hemp person, so I'm like feeling really
and you're
risque
thinking,
right
how's
now.
it going to taste and what's it going to be like? And look, the great thing is this is really nice in terms of on the palate. So
Shall we do
here
it?
we go.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
I feel like I'm at the Grand Prix.
Not dissimilar to champagne.
So it is the champagne of soda drinks.
Can we join in, do you think, you two?
I
Come
think that
over.
you
Okay.
can. Yes,
Come, let's
I
do
think
it.
that you
It's
can.
party time.
And if you don't mind, I'll be having some of that myself.
Hope
So,
you
and it
will.
almost like pours like a beer. So
Cheers.
I'll
Cheers.
Did you
John.
hear your
Thank you
feedback?
for
Thank you very
coming here
much.
today.
Lovely.
Thank you for having me.
It's not too sweet. Is this doing it for you, Ash? You're the beer drinker.
Well, it tastes really good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's palatable.
It's a bit like having a soft drink without all the bad stuff because there's nothing in here that's not good for the body.
We have a tsunami of diabetes coming for Australians.
Yeah.
And poorly controlled diabetes is a killer.
Yeah.
It will give you heart attacks, strokes, it will destroy your feet.
Yeah.
And we need to be getting diabetes rates down in this country.
Yeah.
And something that you can make in your kitchen when you don't even know how to boil an egg in 15 minutes is instantly piquing my interest as something really exciting.
I agree.
We love your hemp kombucha and we love the fact that you had diabetes and you don't anymore. If this is as good in other people as it has been for you, your little drink could save a lot of lives in this country. So congratulations. We're going to take your hemp to trial.
Kombucha, thank you very much. Great, great, great.
Thank you.
Beautiful. And I'll give you one now. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Excellent. Had a wonderful time.
All right.
And have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Lovely, lovely. What a character.
Our next pitch involves an unexpected Peruvian specialty.
Joyce, hi. Say, thank you. Explain this to me a little bit.
This is raw beef, and it's been used for infected wounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever told anyone who's not from Peru about this remedy?
Yes, I've told my boss last week, and yeah, he was like, okay, yeah, like very skeptical.
How do you think our panel of doctors are going to react to your raw meat remedy?
Probably like my boss, but I'll try to explain them. Yeah, because it works. I've seen it myself. Yeah.
All right.
No worries.
Have a great time.
Thanks. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Joyce, and my home remedy is raw beef on infected wounds.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, Joyce. Where are you from?
Originally from Peru.
So this is a Peruvian remedy?
Yes, it is. It was passed on to me by my mom and to my mom from her mom.
Not only family, it's also the rest of Peru. It's well known.
Yes, it's well known over there. And yeah, people over there use it instead of going to the doctors to treat the infection.
Okay, and does it have to be a particular type of beef?
No, it can be any cut.
Any
as
cut?
long as it's beef.
Okay,
Yeah.
and any wound, whatever size, whatever depth?
It's basically when it's infected and with pus, because what it does is sucks the pus out of your wound.
Okay.
My mom used it to me when I was around 10. She put it around my toenail because it got infected. And I slept overnight on it, and yeah.
You had that in your bed?
Yes. You have to sleep with it. But not the whole chunk. You just need to cut it.
Right. Can you cut it and show us the sort of size that would be required for a toenail, for example?
Okay, for a toenail, sure.
Oh, so it has to be quite thin.
Yeah.
Is it?
It doesn't need to be the whole chunk. Yes. Put it around, wrap it, and put the bandage. Okay.
Do you need a hand, honey, for this?
Yeah, if you can.
So, what do? I
Just
would...
wrap it around.
Okay.
So it doesn't come out.
Joyce, do you understand the mechanism by which this works?
The bacteria, like the pus and like those ones, instead of going towards your body, because your body's trying to fight it off, once you put the dead meat on it, it goes to the dead meat because it's easier.
As the only meat eater amongst us, Ash, would you come up with the theory?
Could I speculate?
Could you speculate?
Well, I am at a bit of a loss, I have to admit. I'm not convinced by the idea that the bacteria will veer towards dead rather than live. That seems a stretch too far for me.
I agree. Bacteria, as we know them, it's not binary. They don't either go here or there. They go, woohoo, happy days. This is an awesome environment. We're going to turn into 50 gazillion.
Again, I'm not certain, but it seems like an unlikely situation.
I really love the story, I love the background, but it's not a trial, I don't think. Anyway, Joyce, fascinating.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Raw meat may contain potentially harmful bacteria such as E. coli, Salmonella and Listeria. there's a small risk of further contamination when meat is put on an open wound. Next up is Nicole from the New South Wales South Coast.
This is my minx, Molly, at 1959 Hillman that I've just finished restoring.
The vintage car lover and home herbalist believes she's found a remedy for a pesky problem troubling many beach lovers.
I love garlic, and my remedy is garlic oil for swimmer's ear. I like to infuse herbs into oil. Some spinach for dinner. Into alcohol. I make all sorts of things that are natural remedies and natural food as medicine. Garlic. Very dry. Garlic as an ancient herb has been around for a very long time and is very well documented as to its medicinal benefits. I make my remedy by chopping up some garlic,
A little bit of olive oil on top of the garlic.
warm it up for about 20 minutes, strain it, put it in a little bottle with a dropper.
And there you have it. Garlic oil.
I'm really hoping that it can maybe empower a few people to try something different and not be afraid to try it.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm a mum and I'm a home herbalist. My friends say I'm an earth mama. And my remedy today is garlic oil for ear infections, earache and swimmer's ear.
Ah, and this is a home remedy?
This is a home remedy.
Your own home? Passed down from generation?
It's been passed down 4 generations, but I discovered it through reading books.
Okay. Tell us about your family. You've got a big family, or?
I had 3 children under 2.
Oh, what?
I did. Ouch. And we spent a lot of time in the water. The kids surfed from about 2 and were in swimming lessons from around 3. And when they had ear infections, we tried antibiotics the first time. And then after that, I realised it was just going to happen again. And I wanted to come up with an alternative.
Just out of interest, did the antibiotics work when you first tried them?
Yes, they did, but they came back again. And I've always been concerned about the ongoing effects of antibiotics. And I came up with this herbal infused oil. And usually within 24 hours, there'd be some sort of a change and a relief.
Can I just say, it sounds like an idyllic way to be brought up near the beach, swimming every day.
Yeah.
But this, I think you called it swimmer's ear, sounds horrific. You're saying it's microorganisms in the surf?
Yeah.
In these wonderful, clean Australian waters. So if it's antifungal, and there's evidence to suggest that the garlic oil is antifungal, then is that what we're talking about here? Or
There are 2 broad categories. We're talking about if swimmer's ear is all, that's otitis externa, and it often starts with a fungal infection. If you've got one of those genetically curvy ear canals, you'll trap water in there. It's a nice hot environment, absolutely perfect for a fungus to grow, and then you can get secondary infections with bacteria. Otitis media, which is the middle ear infection that kids often get, is completely different because, in fact, the middle ear is completely walled off from the ear canal by the eardrum unless there's a perforation. My only concern would be dropping a substance into an eardrum, if it did perforate, could do some chemical damage to the tiny little bones that bang together and transmit sound. And I would not want to see any child get permanent hearing damage until we know for sure that the eardrum is intact and they're not going to do any damage to the middle ear. So I'd want someone to look in first before we stuck a drop in.
Well, my kids have survived it. They're now
Yes.
21, 22 and 23. So they have actually survived it. And I've also supplemented, though, with other garlic internally because I'm a big believer in food as medicine.
Did your children ever say to you, why can't we smell like the other children?
We all eat garlic, and I think if everyone eats garlic, then there's no problem.
Well, look, our job is to ascertain whether a particular remedy is suitable for a trial. Unfortunately, I don't think yours is, simply because we know the benefits of garlic. I don't think we have to expound on that. And secondly, the concerns that Jeannie brought up, and that is we do not want to be putting garlic oil in someone's ear if they've got a perforated eardrum. So you'd have to actually document first before you actually started that.
Thank you. Lovely to meet you.
Love to your children.
Thank you.
The well-documented antibacterial and antifungal benefits of garlic are credited to the presence of a sulphur compound called allicin, released when a clove is chopped or crushed. Coming up,
That's yum.
will the hemp kombucha remedy for diabetes be a success?
A really good friend of mine had diabetes and passed away, and I don't really want to go in that direction.
When it's put to the test in our trial.
Finger prick.
And
the lice literally swing from hair to hair.
Is this an affordable solution for those embarrassing head lice?
Not only a burden socially, but a burden fiscally.
Earlier, John impressed with his hemp kombucha remedy.
No way, you've got rid of your diabetes altogether.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And our experts seized the opportunity to find out if it really can cure type 2 diabetes.
Congratulations, we're going to take your hemp to trial.
To put each remedy to the test, we've enlisted an independent scientific team to conduct clinical research, collecting data from carefully selected patients who trial the remedy. Each study runs for up to 12 weeks, depending on the remedy, and participants are selected from across Australia. Here are some who are currently suffering from type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes and have agreed to trial John's hemp kombucha.
5 years ago, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
41-year-old Jason is afraid of what could happen if he isn't able to control his diabetes.
A really good friend of mine had diabetes and passed away, and I don't really want to go in that direction.
And Sydney-sider Caroline has resorted to drastic measures to manage her pre-diabetes.
I lost 20 kilos and that's helped bring my blood sugar down quite dramatically, but it's still too high.
While Rohit is worried that his pre-diabetes will develop into a more serious diagnosis.
I've seen a lot of people have to inject themselves every day with insulin. I don't want to have that kind of effect in my life.
Our participants will drink 100 mils of hemp kombucha each morning for a week, recording their blood sugar levels on the 1st, 3rd and 7th day.
Here is my brewing kombucha.
That's yum.
We'll do a finger prick.
And a few days into the trial, some blood sugar levels are already looking promising.
There is something that's working with this kombucha. Why? Because it brought it down by a good 0.8 count, which is substantial.
Find out if John's hemp kombucha remedy will be a success later in the program.
I haven't done a science project in a couple of years, so this is fun to do.
An unpleasant encounter with some blood-sucking critters had Patty and her 8-year-old daughter Mia come up with our next remedy.
G'day, guys.
Hi, how you going?
I'm well. I'm Jan. Lovely to meet you.
Patty, how are
Hello,
you?
Patty. G'day.
I'm Mia.
Mia, nice to meet you. Take a seat. All right. So tell me what we've got in the bag.
We have an all-natural head lice repellent.
How did you come to discover that this was a repellent for head lice?
Yeah, when she was about 2.5, Mia got head lice from her daycare. It's horrendous. I got them too.
Oh, you got them as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went back to the teachers and the teacher passed it on to me. So ever since then, we've had no head lice and we've used this remedy.
So you'd give it a spray every day in the morning?
Every morning.
Okay. What about you? How do you think you're going to go today?
I think we're going to be surprised.
Yep. Tell you what, if they're not, just give them a bit of a light spray with that. See what they have to say about that one. All right, I'm going to give this back to you. Good luck in front of our panel of doctors today.
Thank you.
All right, lovely seeing you guys. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. We know it works. We've used it for 5.5 years, so we'd absolutely love our cure to go to trial. Hi.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi there.
My name's Patty, and this is my daughter Mia.
Hi, Patty.
Hello. Lovely to meet you.
We've got a all-natural head lice repellent, so it wards off head lice completely.
So this is to prevent her from getting lice?
This is preventative,
Yeah.
so for 5.5 years it's worked perfectly. Originally, she had head lice when she was about 2.5, and that was horrendous. Yeah, it took a long time to get rid of them, and it was a bit awful.
Oh, I've got 4 daughters living with us, and at one point we had this for 6 months without a break. We just kept circulating it.
Well, I have 4 daughters as well, and it was not only a burden socially, but a burden fiscally. I mean, the cost of treating a child with lice is just, and it's an ongoing problem. You had it for 6 months, we had it for easily 6 years.
Mia, how long is your hair?
It's down to my calf muscles.
Oh, look at that.
And all I can think of, Patty, is getting lice out of that, combing it out.
Yeah,
It would not be fun.
It's a lot of work, but it's well worth it.
So we're all ears, tell us.
Okay, so we've got some essential oils. We have got lavender, eucalyptus, tea tree, and rosemary. So we use 5 drops of each oil in a spray bottle, and it's got to be every day.
Okay, so which do you believe is the active ingredient?
Tea tree is the one that kills the actual live lice and kills the eggs.
But you couldn't use tea tree oil alone?
You could use that, but your hair would be like straw.
Okay.
So rosemary and lavender make it a bit softer and helps the hair growth as well. But you have to be very persistent. It's got to be every day.
Okay, Patty, show us how it's done then.
So basically, we spray it through, right down to the ends. Brush it all through.
So my understanding was the lice or the nits that tend to live closer to the scalp.
So what happens is the lice need to live close enough to the scalp, which is their food source, because it's awful. They're taking your blood a little bit. That's when they bite you, they take your blood and that's their food. They are like Tarzan, and so they have to hang on to an infected person's hair with one hand and a non-infected person's hair with the other hand, and they literally swing from hair to hair. And so that will happen to the hairs right down here, and then they'll run up and grab their food from the scalp. So in fact, if you're going to repel them, you need to repel them everywhere.
Mia, what do you think of that? It's pretty disgusting. Little bugs crawling up your hair and then eating your blood?
Yes.
I mean, there are certainly some studies testing lots of different natural oils.
Yep.
And they tend to conclude that they can kill the larvae or the lice themselves, as well as the eggs. So having a combination of oils all in one treatment seems like a good idea, actually, from a scientific perspective.
Ginny, why don't boys get lice as much?
Oh, they do. I've got 2 sons as well, and don't you worry about that, they do. But the reality is their hair is just not long enough. So they can't hitch a ride onto boys' hair as easily. And literally, lice cannot travel along materials in hats, on towels. It can only go from your hair, not your hair, Ash's hair, to my hair. Which means, kind of good news for you, Patty, if Mia were to ever get it again, don't need to worry about sheets and towels.
Did you know that?
No.
So, Patty, I have to ask.
Yes.
You're very passionate about this remedy.
Yes.
Are you the most vigilant person at Mia's school? Are you known as the louse woman?
There's that lady. Actually, I am. I mean, Mia's got the longest hair at the school, and I give the different oils to the teachers and let them know, look, this is what I use if there's an outbreak. Because obviously a lot of the kids of Mia's age have got siblings, so they keep coming through. So you have to be vigilant with it, otherwise it just doesn't work.
What will they do when all your children leave the school? They'll be left ridden with lice.
Hopefully the teachers pass it on.
Teachers will pass it on. We're thrilled that you came. Mia, thank you very much for coming along and demonstrating your beautiful locks.
Yes.
It's probably not the sort of thing we would send to trial because it's one of those things that is certainly medicinal. It certainly works.
Thank you for bringing this.
Yeah.
Lovely, thank you.
Thanks, Patty. Thanks, Mia.
Okay, lovely.
Thanks, Mia.
Okay.
Wish I'd heard this presentation when my children were still in school.
Yeah.
It would have saved us thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars, Patty.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Patty. Thank you. Thanks, Mia.
Up to 60% of Australian primary school-aged children are likely to get head lice. Although a nuisance, they aren't dangerous and don't carry infectious diseases. Our next remedy comes from inner city Melbourne via Turkey.
I'm Serkan.
I'm Sergey.
Our remedy uses ochre for extraction of boils, pimples, splinters, and any other foreign matter.
I'm not bossy.
Yes.
He's called me bossy.
Recently divorced 50-year-old Serkan lives with his mum.
I said, am I doing it right, Mum? Is it right?
That's good.
Yeah? You like it?
And there's no doubt who the boss is.
Living with Mum, it's a little bit hard because she's set in her ways and she doesn't like changing things.
I don't like it.
She doesn't like it.
Part of Serkan's motivation to move home was to look after his mum after his dad moved into a nursing home.
Well, that's Dad in his good days before he had dementia. He used to like his gardening and garden. It was very hard for Mum to look after him. I came and gave her a bit of support to help her out.
Their ochre remedy has been handed down from Serkan's grandmother.
Yeah, it's got to be soft and snotty.
Packed with nutrients, ochre is a staple in Middle Eastern cooking.
I make for you. You happy after? No
Don't need a
worries.
doctor.
Mother and son are keen to spread the word about their ochre remedy. But will our panel consider it for a trial?
Love the apron.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, I'm Serkan, and this is my mother.
I am Sevgi, and I'm making for boiling okra, making medicine today.
So basically what she's saying is she boils an okra and she makes a paste out of it for boil extractions or extractions of foreign matters in the body. Like the last time she used it was on my cousin, and he got a little pebble in the foot. Make it up.
Small foreign bodies in the skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
My mom's teaching before I was young, because the time no medicine, and she say, I show you the boiling the okra, put in a little bit flour inside, mix up together, and.
But you said you weren't going to give up the secret.
Yeah, this is the secret. My mom.
It's all gone now.
I never tell my friends to like this, like
This is the first time she's telling me
Yes,
now.
tell your friends. Well, you've just told a lot of people.
I know, I think she didn't want to give it up. Well, you have to give it up now, it's too
Yeah,
late.
she said, why you not tell me before? Because I heard this. I say, no, I can't give you. Because
So do you have any idea as to how it might be working?
I know Mum uses it, but why does it work, is the question. And just coincidentally, I was looking at all the vitamins in it and the iron, magnesium and all that, and we were just talking to the head of the nursing department, and she was saying they use magnesium cream and sulphur to extract splinters
Yeah,
and things.
magnoplasm, yeah.
Yeah, you have a look at that thing, and it's got high magnesium and manganese.
Is that right?
When magnesium sulfate is applied to the skin, it can draw moisture from an inflamed area.
Yeah, we want to know how you make it. Come on, get there and make it for us now.
Okay.
So have you got cooked okra there or raw okra?
Boiling.
So you've boiled the okra for
10, 15.
in salted water?
No.
Sorry, I know it's not a cooking show, but this is important.
plain-
so
plain
water.
water.
Okay. And you've taken the tops off the
Yeah,
okra.
take the top
Clean
off.
up
It's easy to
before.
But
do.
the seeds inside,
Yep.
you've left them all in.
Yep. You got to leave it snotty and
Yeah, it looks pretty slimy from here.
slimy, yeah. And probably a teaspoon of flour.
Plain flour.
Plain flour.
She doesn't need water or anything.
No.
Just use the main slime.
Yeah, a bit of elbow grease.
Yep, and apply it warm as well.
Right.
It works better as it's warmer.
Apply
Not
it.
hot.
Apply it when it's warm. Okay.
Already?
Is it ready?
Yeah.
I haven't got a boil that I prepared earlier. So I can't help you with
could've
that.
tried.
But I do have a splinter from...
You have a splinter?
Well, I went camping. So it's not that big a splinter.
No, she's only going to put a little bit on there anyway. Why
Okay,
not?
is it ready for application?
Yeah, have a look.
All right.
Hepsi çıkarma anne.
İşte bitti arkadaşlar. Zaten hepsi bu.
That's it. So what she will do is she'll put that like that. So if it was a boil, she'll just wrap it all like that on a boil. But then you'd need a bandage or something like that.
Right.
Then
I have to
wrap
say,
it.
it feels a little bit like an accident in the kitchen.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So how long do I have to leave it on for?
She'll apply it late at night and then just you go to bed.
Buraya da bir şey temiz.
So basically she's saying you wrap this now.
Okay. I'm happy to be open-minded, so I'll take a bit and maybe I'll try it on my splinter tonight.
Yeah, try that tonight.
All right.
Just one okra, a little bit of flour.
Yeah.
Just get that consistency.
All right. Well, it's easy to make from a practical perspective, so that's an attractive element. It's great to hear that you've got a hypothesis. It's about high magnesium levels and that natural paste. Perhaps that's a great way of applying that, but we don't think it's the right material for a trial.
No.
but still very enlightening.
Very interesting.
Well, thank you very much, both of you, for coming in and sharing, obviously, a family secret that you didn't want to tell anyone, but now you've told the entire world. and we really appreciate you coming in. It's lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Lovely.
too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Coming up, an elixir to help new mums.
That is a weed, isn't it?
It is a weed.
All the way from southern Italy.
Calabria.
Calabria, we'll treat you with respect.
Thank you so much.
And a remedy
Boot.
Boot balm.
Boot.
These fellas.
with unusual beginnings.
So you started with boot polish and have ended up with a skin polish.
Yeah.
A skin polish.
The next remedy to front our panel is a unique brew for Australian mothers.
Hi.
Hi, what's your remedy today?
My remedy is a postnatal elixir with thistle.
Thistle?
Thistle for its aid in getting blood reproduction and your body back into gear after you have a baby.
Okay.
Because it can be traumatic.
Hey, I've never been there, but I believe you, and I
can
believe
tell,
literally
yeah.
every other woman who's told me that as well.
All
Fingers
right.
crossed for you.
Thanks.
Head in there and meet our panel.
Thank you. Nice
Lovely to
talking
meet
to
you.
you. See you.
Bye.
Hi there.
Hi, I'm Laura, and I'm here to talk to you about my postnatal little elixir.
Nice. Can you tell us a little bit about you first?
I am Italian cultural background, and this is where all this sort of comes from.
Laura, do you
So
think it's a family tradition or is this something that's widespread throughout Italy?
I think it's a cultural thing. I'm from southern Italy.
Sicily?
At Calabria.
Calabria, we'll treat you with respect.
Thank you so much.
Okay, what is it?
So I think that the really special ingredient here is thistle.
That is a weed, isn't it?
It is a weed.
And which bit do you use?
I could use the whole thing.
The whole thing?
Yeah, that's the sort of thing that we pull out and
You
throw
pull
away.
out.
And you use this as the basis of your tonic.
I
for new
did.
mothers.
I did. So in here is some spinach, some basil, some parsley, some garlic, some salt, some water, and a lot of thistle.
And that's the active component, you think?
The thistle is really good for apparently blood, like what we believe is like blood purification. Our belief is that if we look after a woman after she gives birth, because it's a traumatic experience or
Yes,
you've lost,
yes.
you know, a lot of blood, your hormones aren't quite level. If we look after you and start to repair you, in turn you can look after your children.
Laura, who makes this for you?
My grandmother made it for me.
So your grandmother thought you needed nurturing.
Yeah.
And the nurturing between the women of your family passed through this drink.
Yes.
Allowed you to be a healthier, stronger, more nurturing mum yourself.
Because you feel physically better.
But nothing specific, like, you know, postnatal depression, unable to breastfeed.
We usually say, well, you breastfeed a baby, you have a glass of this by your side. So you're not just drinking water, you're drinking something with substance in it.
I don't know of any studies, haven't been able to glance through anything that suggests that there's something specific that the thistle weed actually does something. I mean, I guess if it made you feel better, that's the main thing. So
It did make us feel
I guess
better.
I should challenge my own scepticism by trying it for you.
You should try
So I'll
you can try
come
it in
up.
its raw form, or you can try it in that.
I'll try a bit of raw.
Yeah.
And
And we use the oil for warts.
Oh, okay.
Got any warts, Ash?
Not that I'm going to admit to.
So you can
No,
see.
it's not too bitter. You could.
No,
you could
you
eat
can
that.
eat it. It's
Yeah.
like you can eat it like a salad.
Can I try this?
Of course. You're welcome. What do you think?
It's interesting. It tastes nice. It's got a slightly spinachy flavour.
It does have a spinach. It's not really like bitter like an amaro.
It tastes healthy.
Yeah, does
right?
it? Oh,
Which,
good.
that can sometimes sound like a bit of an insult. It wasn't meant to
No,
taste healthy.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. You know, apart from consuming things that are good for your body, I think that we have to train ourselves to really care for each other.
Oh my God, yes. What a beautiful note to end on.
Thank you.
In terms of running a trial, I'm going to say no. It's
Thank
lovely
you.
meeting you.
Thank you.
And,
It's lovely meeting all of you. Thank you for listening.
Okay,
Thank
very
you.
much. Lovely,
See you.
lovely, thank you.
Milk thistle has a long history of use to support healthy breast milk production after pregnancy. It should be avoided during pregnancy, and it's best to consult with a healthcare professional before use. next pitch made its way to being a home remedy from the most unlikely origins.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, yo. My name's Ian, and my remedy is a natural boot balm for sensitive skin.
Boot?
Boot balm.
Boot?
These fellas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started with an innovative boot polish and have ended up with a skin polish.
Yeah.
A skin polish?
Yeah, basically it is. So a bit of a story. Massage therapist by trade, went to the mines for a couple of years, and I wanted something natural for my boots to keep the water out, and that was good for my skin. So I'm really sensitive for skin.
I'd love to have a smell of it. Do you mind if...
No, not at all.
You developed this while you were working in the mines?
Yeah.
And did you tell any of your co-workers that you were working on this?
Yeah, they thought I was mad. But the interesting thing was, I did it for me, but I had people coming up to me saying, I work with diesel, and can you do something? Because I saw this lying around the shed. Somebody working with diesel acts as a bit of a barrier. Somebody with cracked hands. Yeah.
Okay, and tell us what you made it with.
Easy. Beeswax. Source that from Central West.
Nothing fancy, just everyday ordinary beeswax?
Yep, ordinary beeswax, lanolin. Shea butter comes from West Africa.
Beeswax, lanolin and shea butter are known as occlusive agents. They increase moisture levels in the skin by providing a physical barrier to water loss.
So what's the last bottle? There's a small bottle.
Rosemary oil.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's antibacterial, antifungal. I just mix it in about 30 degrees Celsius. I apply it into the balm as it's cooling, because I've got to melt all that stuff down on the stove.
So if we were going to take this to a trial, what would we be trialling it for? I mean, which specific skin condition? Because we can't do a trial on boots.
Yeah, yeah, no, that makes sense. Cracked heels, cracked hands, and it reduces irritation.
I feel like it's just the ultimate, in a common sense, application. And I'm not sure I see a great medical need, although you've obviously mentioned situations in which it could be of some benefit. And my vote would be, so we wouldn't move this forward to any real survey, but it's clearly a very nice product.
I agree with Asher. It's probably not the sort of material that we present for a trial, but certainly it's something that we're very interested in, especially if you're using your hands or in some sort of environment where they're getting chafed all the time or scratched or exposed to toxic substances.
I appreciate your opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah, good on.
So, yep.
Up next is 27-year-old Bahare with a traditional Persian remedy made from raw eggs and turmeric.
99.9% of Iranians probably know about this remedy, so this is not something I got into, it's been always with us.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Bahare. I'm from Iran. I came to Australia 10 years ago, and I'm studying pharmacology and physiology. And I have egg yolk and turmeric as my home remedy for swollen joints.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you put it on a sore joint or do you eat it?
We make it as a paste and we put it externally over the inflammation.
Where does that hail from?
This home remedy has been passed down generations. When I was young, I was at my grandma's house and we were just running around in the garden, and then I sprained my ankle and my mother put it on and the inflammation was gone, so I just got rid of it. But my sister used it last year when she was at my cousin's wedding and she got a fracture, but she couldn't go to the doctors, so straight away we put it on and that got rid of the pain and the swelling, and then the next day she went to the doctor and got the cast on.
It sounds like quite the wedding where someone, you know, breaks a bone. It's
Yeah.
a lot of dancing
It's like,
there.
Yeah. Persians dance a lot.
Can I just quickly ask you, I think you said you were studying science.
Yes.
And yet, we're talking here about a very ancient remedy, and to you, there's no conflict there.
Well, the turmeric actually has anti-inflammatory ingredients into it, like curcumin, which is the active ingredient. This has been proven through thousands of years, coming from old Persia, and everybody have used it. So that's something that is proven. If it was not perfect, it wouldn't go past down the generations.
It's a really interesting word that you use to prove something.
Yes.
And in actual fact, from a scientific perspective, it's really hard to prove anything. But it's compelling in the sense that the failed remedies fall away and the real ones are retained and stand before us today.
Bahare,
yeah.
Would you mind just demonstrating how you prepare this?
Yeah, sure. It might get a little bit messy. But...
Yeah, yep, don't worry.
Mess is good.
Awesome. So you're gonna have your egg, and you're gonna separate 2 egg yolks, and you try to get the yellow part only.
Okay, for a particular reason?
Yes, it has vitamin A, D, E, K, which is good for inflammation. I'm gonna have 2 teaspoons of turmeric.
And powdered or freshly grated?
Well, it's better to be a pure powder.
Can the proteins get absorbed through skin? They're large molecules.
I don't think that that's the case.
And then if they do penetrate the skin, do they go through to the joint underneath?
And it's mostly on a joint, isn't it?
It's really common for wrist, ankle, knees, like this bone over here. So it's really like common to use it for there.
Okay, can I have a demo?
So you just put it in, for example, this part.
Yeah.
You put it, and then you wrap the Band-Aid around it.
And how long would I leave it there for?
Well, in Iran, we used to leave it for 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna make you feel better. Yeah.
It smells good.
Yeah.
I love the smell of turmeric.
So we just cut this much over here. Thank you, sir. There you go.
You're an able surgical assistant.
Thank you.
And then you just wrap it.
So it feels kind of just cold and wet at the moment. But it's certainly not unpleasant. There's no stinging.
I can see one problem with that already, though, and that is that she's going to be placing it on a sore joint. It in itself is going to immobilise the joint a little bit, and then you're going to further immobilise the joint with a bandage. And that's exactly what you do anyway with a sore joint. You're meant to immobilise it, and the bandage, of course, will reduce the swelling, and the immobilisation will reduce the pain.
So we could have a little confounder.
A confounder, yeah. That's the trouble with this.
But would you, if you get the swollen joints, do you just wrap it with a Band-Aid?
Yeah,
Is that what
absolutely.
you do?
Yeah.
With putting no medicine on it?
No.
Yeah.
Normally, you just
But rest, ice,
immobilisation.
compression, elevation,
Yeah,
right?
compression, elevation, immobilisation, yeah. It's not the sort of thing I'd like to see go to a trial. But students like you who've gone into science but have an open, inquisitive mind are the ones that we really want. You're the sort of scientist I'd want in my lab, for sure.
Thank you so much.
OK, well, thank you very, very much. It was a great demonstration too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coming up.
Hi.
Hey, John. It's the moment of truth for John's hemp kombucha remedy.
Diabetes is just huge.
Is it really a breakthrough for diabetes?
OK, so we have the results.
It's time to reveal the results for John's diabetes remedy.
Hi.
Hey, John.
Lovely to see you.
Welcome back.
Lovely to see
Thank you for having me back.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
His hemp kombucha
So,
wowed our experts.
Well,
Do you still have type 2 diabetes?
no.
No way. You've got rid of your diabetes
Absolutely.
altogether.
Yeah.
And was put to the test by people across the country in an independent scientific trial.
That's yum.
With type 2 diabetes expected to become Australia's most prevalent disease, is John's remedy really the answer to a health problem affecting over 1 million Australians?
So, John, the moment of truth. We all have a personal interest in this. Ginny, because, of course, she sees a lot of patients. I, because I had pre-diabetes. And I'm sure you're as anxious to hear about the results as we are.
Yes, I am.
OK, so we have the results, John.
Yeah.
They're very promising.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
75% of the participants had an improvement in their fasting blood sugar level.
Yes, that's fantastic news. Oh, I'm delighted to hear that.
It is very good news. I personally, and Ginny shares this, think that the improvement was actually quite significant.
Oh, wow.
There's 1.5 millimoles per litre improvement in their fasting blood sugar level. So I think that's very good. Because that's really huge. Yeah, I think that's enough to turn someone from diabetic to pre-diabetic and from pre-diabetic to normal. So I think it's quite significant.
In fact, some participants, like Caroline, saw an even more drastic drop in their blood sugar levels.
Within 3 days of starting the kombucha, I really noticed a huge difference. My blood sugar dropped from 8.1 to 5.1. I actually shared the results with my GP and she couldn't believe it either. So she was very positive about it.
Do a finger prick.
Incredibly, 31% found that John's hemp kombucha did not just lower their blood sugar, but completely resolve their symptoms.
Ah, not bad. 4.0.
Yes. Well, I'm absolutely delighted to hear that, and I'm delighted that other people will benefit from it, because to know that there's other people out there that can do something like this, which is cost effective and is available for everyone, really makes me very happy.
John, diabetes is just huge, and we've seen this enormous rise. We started in the 90s with 1.5% of Australians having diabetes, and now it's 6% and rising, with a huge number that don't know they have it.
Yeah.
And, you know, so many of my patients have particularly type 2 diabetes, and I think if we can reduce the blood sugar over a 7-day period, imagine what we could do with a higher amount, and I think that deserves greater study.
In terms of the research community, you know, we're understanding a lot more about how gut health impacts upon the health of your whole body.
Yes.
And, you know, your remedy has got this kind of microbial aspect to it with bacteria and yeast, and it may well be that some of this being introduced into your body has a beneficial effect.
Well,
John, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled for you.
I'm
thrilled for the community, and for the scientific community especially, that we can now sort of put some more science behind it all.
That's excellent. Well, thank you very much.
I need that recipe because I'm definitely going to make some.
Yes, I'll send
I
you
was waiting
some.
to get the results.
Yes, of course,
But
yes.
I'm going to make some. I'm going to have it at home.
Thank you very much. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Look, it was fantastic, and the fact that hemp Oz kombucha is now out there and it's got some scientific backing, it goes from being something that is anecdotal to actually being a fact.
Next time on Medicine or Myth,
This looks like a block of charcoal, doesn't it?
a kitchen cupboard remedy for food poisoning.
It's like a million trips to the bathroom. You have to pitch a tent in the bathroom and just live there for a while.
It's always a dodgy kebab, like 100% of the time.
And a stiff drink to fix anything from heartburn to growing pains.
For what? For any ailment.
Even children?
Gave them that warm, fuzzy feeling they could sleep through the night.
My kids are definitely not going there.
This program provides general information only and does not recommend or endorse any particular treatment. It is not intended to replace the advice provided by your own doctor or medical or health professional.